with stories that we were unable to get to on the first portion of today's show, plus some other stories as well. Now, it's time to tell you who is coming on the program today, Penny.
And now, the truth with a shot of espresso. Good day, and welcome to the Awake Nation guest interview with guests who defy the mainstream narrative. Grab a cup of coffee while our guests prove the news for you. The Awake Nation, the truth with a shot of espresso. The Mockingbird Media controls the narrative. We help you determine what is real and what is not.
Global conspiracies, key players, highest levels of power, reaches into the lives of every man, woman, and child on this planet.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no Satans. Friday, December 8th, 2023, our guests are Paul Dale Roberts. Paul Dale Roberts is a Fortean investigator investigating all things paranormal, from UFOs to ghosts to demons to cryptids. He is an author of over 73 paranormal-themed books. Roberts is also a journalist for Phenomenon Magazine, Costa Rican Times, Outer Limits Magazine, and Paranormal Underground Magazine. Our next guest is Marissa McGinnis. Hashtag #MeToo Family Court Movement. Marissa seeks to bridge the gap between domestic abuse or family court cases and MK Ultra. She is currently writing a book, developing a screenplay, and a comedy series about trauma. Marissa is networking to start a social movement to protect the children for a better future. Our next guest is Mark Matheny, Sig Semper Tyrannis News Podcast. Mark is a U.S. veteran, Messianic Jew, and independent investigative journalist and podcaster. Mark reports on geopolitical events that are culminating in a world government scenario. He breaks down the biblical and spiritual aspects of current events. You can find Mark on Rumble. Our next guest is Tanya Joy Gibson, Beauty for Ashes, Tanya Joy Show, Tanya Joy TV, Coffee Talk with Esther. Tanya is a former Miss Illinois. She's a podcaster, a singer, an actress, a speaker, and an activist for Jesus. Rounding out the final hour of the Awakening is Susie Q, White Horse Productions. Susie is a World Cutting Horse champion and owner of a horse ranch and event center. She's an entrepreneur who escaped being murdered by serial killers Otis Toole and Henry D. Lucas. She is currently working on her memoirs. Don't forget to subscribe to The Dark Outpost at darkoutpost.tv. There you will find exclusive content, interviews, documentaries, and intel not found anywhere else. For the full show, go to awakenation.tv. Falling down the rabbit hole can hurt. Ouch. Ow, that's gonna hurt. We will provide the researchers and whistleblowers. Your mission is to discern the truth from the MSM lies. And now for the interview portion of the Awake Nation. And awake we go with a shot of espresso. It's showtime.
Welcome back to the Awake Nation, Truth with a Shot of Espresso. Penny L.A. Shepard, David Zubik with you, and now joining us is Paul Dale Roberts. Paul, welcome back to the show. As always, an honor to have you on.
Thank you, Penny and David. I love being here. And holy cow, every time I wake up in the morning, I'm hearing something about China and Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Hamas, North Korea and South Korea. What is going on? I mean, it's like the doomsday clock must be like half a second to midnight.
Yes.
It feels that way.
We're on the road to World War III. I mean, I've been saying we're in World War III since Ukraine and Russia, but it's looking more and more like that's where we're headed. What are your thoughts, Paul?
That's the scary part. I hate to think something like that, but it seems like we are headed towards that way. I mean, just right now they had a confrontation with Taiwan and China, the going through the Taiwan Strait, and they had some kind of communication where they're almost threatening each other.
Yeah, 2024 is going to be a very volatile year, and maybe what they'll try to do, and this is parcel of what's in your wheelhouse. Maybe an alien invasion will stop everything.
Yeah, they have to have one of those. It is slated a fake alien invasion, but I did see somewhat of a civil war. Everybody knows this because I've said it a million times. A civil war from 2020 to 2024. I attribute it to COVID, but now I'm thinking maybe I saw like two different timelines as well, because sometimes you can see divergent timelines. And then World War III from 2024 to 2030.
Wow. That's something else. And then I was listening to you too, talking about AI and how now with your brain waves, this AI can actually create the photo or the picture. And
Yeah.
and that all sounds like part of the thing with the Akashic records, and also too, like at the instance of death, at that moment you get your whole life flashing right in front of your eyes. All that stuff is recorded. It's energy, and all the thoughts of what your dog is thinking of and everything else. That is it's permanent information.
That would pretty much be invaluable to me, because I'm always asking Lily, "What are you talking about? I don't understand you," because she talks to me.
How cute, Lily.
Yes, she does. I mean, seriously, she will join in a phone conversation, and people are like, "Is she talking?" I'm like, "Yes, she wants to be a talk show host. She wants to be on the Wake Nation."
Oh my gosh.
Your honorary mascot.
Oh my gosh. David, I heard that the photo fairy dropped you some pictures.
The photo fairy did, and the photo fairy put it in my PowerPoint. Here we go. Here's the first one.
Before we get to those pictures, real quick, I just had one quick thought about the AI photo thing again. I tell you where it might be useful in a person who is undergoing a near-death experience. You know, like when they die and then they come back and they say they've seen heaven or something. It wouldn't be interesting to see if their brain could record what it is they see and then generate an image of that.
Oh, that would be amazing.
So.
Did you guys not see Brainstorm with Natalie Wood in the the 80s?
That was wasn't that her last movie?
That was her last movie that she did with Christopher Walken, and it was about this very thing: recording the consciousness, recording. They recorded when Louise Fletcher died. They recorded her death, so they had her journey to the beyond, and they were recording sex acts, and people were having heart attacks. I mean, if you haven't seen that from this story that we just read,
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Watch that. You need to watch it. I think it's called. I'll look it up. Shall I bring in the?
Yeah, now you can bring the. Sorry, I just wanted.
That's all right. You digress.
Okay, this photo right here. This was taken in Benicia, California, and people along the waterfront, they see a headless ghost. There's no explanation why this ghost is headless, and it seems like it lives in the attic of this store that's now closed down. The store had closed down because this lady who owned the store, it was a clothing store, she had us investigate and everything else, and she was just totally terrified. This headless ghost would pop up and appear and just kind of follow her around, and a couple times she got scratched. But this is a headless ghost of Benicia, California.
Now, when you investigated it, did you investigate it based on this photograph?
Yes, that was from the owner, and she submitted the photograph to me, and she was explaining all the activity. And when we got there, we actually did get some evidence. We got some EVPs and everything else.
Okay.
And we.
The first thing,
Oh, go ahead, David.
no, it's just the first thing I would have thought if somebody sent me this and said it's a headless ghost. What kind of a store was it?
Clothing store.
Clothing store. I would have thought this is a mannequin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Except that our psychics, they detected
Yeah, right.
where the entities were, and we took some pictures and we got some mist. So I mean, we never got a clear picture like this, but yeah, it very well could be a mannequin, but you almost kind of see through it on the bottom part of it.
Yeah, that would be, you know, if you could see through the mannequin, that would be kind of suspicious.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, and
Next? Want to go to
yeah,
the next
the
one?
next photo, yeah. Oh,
What is
okay.
that?
Okay, this was taken with security cameras inside the house, and right by the stairwell, there's a little girl, and you can barely see it on this one. Huh.
Okay, I'm looking at this, like, this looks like, what is that?
That,
That thing looks
Yeah.
like that looks like a ghosty that you saw in Ghostbusters, or like a furry dog that is moving really fast.
I think that's part of the couch, but for some reason, the picture's not coming up the way I want it.
Anything right here?
Yeah. That is like the little girl ghost that haunts that place. It was a woman with a bunch of foster children, and one of the foster children dabbled with the Ouija board and brought in this little girl who would just totally terrify them. And some of the kids would get scratched and stuff. Oh, and one child was actually pushed down the steps. So,
Oh, no.
yeah, and I did a cleansing of this place, and the entity is now gone.
It's clear. Sorry, that poltergeist. Next one?
Yeah, next one. Okay,
Meet
this.
Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro. Pedro appears on this door. His face does. And if you look really close, it looks like he's wearing sunglasses. He has a goatee. He looks like he's Hispanic. And that happens to be the woman that lives there. That was her husband. He died in a motorcycle accident. And she says, that is Pedro. And sometimes his image will appear at that door, and that door leads to his motorcycle, and will appear on the door, and she'll try to wash the face off. She's even repainted it, and then his face will reappear again.
Okay, that's really creepy.
Yeah, Pedro. Yeah, he's still watching his wife. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. This is Sedona, Arizona. And
Is that Red Rock?
yeah.
I've been there.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I climbed Red Rock. The band was there a bunch of times.
Wow.
I also got a race there, so I don't trust Sedona. I know there's a portal there, and you know, we climbed up. We got a guide to take us to the top of. I think it was Bell Rock or something like that.
Okay.
We were in a band house, like right down the street from there.
Wow. Yeah, it's a very mystical place. There's portals, UFOs are seen there. Bigfoot's been seen there. And the gentleman who submitted this photo to Halo Paranormal Investigations, which is my group, stated that he felt like he was being watched. He was on hiking with his family, and he noticed with his peripheral vision that there was this misty thing that was forming. So he snapped a photo, and he got this. And if you look at the next photo, you can see the head and the arms. And I think you got the next photo. Yeah, that's it right there. Oh, yeah, see, you got the head, you can see the arms, and you can see the torso. And, yeah, he, during that whole hiking part of it, he actually felt like he was being followed by this entity, and every once in a while he would see a mist.
Did you ever see Predator?
Yes.
Kind of like that?
So, yeah, a little bit like that. And the photograph, he says, the photograph is much clearer on what he saw. He saw like a floating mist, but it had no real shape or form. But when he took a picture of it, then he could see the arms, the torso, and the head.
You do know that they are testing military, formal wear.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And so they do have that ability to disappear. I've heard allegations that the invisibility cloak isn't real, but it actually, the Harry Potter kind of thingy, but they have dragon skin, and there is an individual who I talked to that developed this, it's like light bending technology that you wear, and, they would appear fractally, right? I mean, I'm just giving you a possibility, another possibility.
Oh, yeah, and absolutely. And there's another story about a cryptid over there, which is the invisible porcupine man. Supposedly, yeah, this entity is actually invisible, but yet they can feel like little pointy things on his body. So it's called the invisible porcupine man, and in Sedona Desert.
I wouldn't be surprised about anything in Sedona because I seriously would not. It was when I was there in the 90s, a very small town. As a matter of fact, they had the Robin Hood movie had come out. We were playing the theme from that. The guitar player was, and so we all went to the entire town went to one movie on Sunday at the theater. That was it. They showed one movie on Sunday, and if you missed it, no movies for the remainder. Just one movie.
Oh my
So
God.
it's a very eclectic town. I was also told, yes, that it's a hotbed of activity for UFOs. And when I first went out there, and I had no knowledge of that, but they were saying, yeah, we sit and sip drinks at the as the sun goes down and watch for the UFOs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's something else. Oh, the next picture, this is going to blow you away. Okay, that's me. It looks like I had a couple of cheeseburgers there. It was kind of big.
Welcome to my world, man.
But anyway, as you can see, there's an orb above my hand. Okay, now I came up with this idea, and was at this investigation, Emily the ghost would actually drain the energy from the occupants of the house. And then one of my investigators says, "Oh my gosh, I need to sit down. I feel really drained." I said, "I wonder if Emily's doing that." And so three investigators with cameras, we go, I said, "Emily, if you're listening to me, kiss him on the mouth." And we snap a picture with three cameras, and we get an orb on his mouth. And then I said, "Emily, if you're listening to me, sit on his lap," and we take a picture, and the orb is hovering over his lap. That showed intelligent movement. So what I do is, I look for intelligent movement in orbs. I mean, orbs could be almost anything. It could be lit, it could be skin flakes, it could be dewdrops, light refractions, whatever. So what I do is I put my hand on the wall, and I said, "If you're listening to me, if you're intelligent, appear by my hand. And if it's a real haunting, I'll get an orb right on my hand." And so, and I'll tell the orb to appear somewhere else. I'll say, okay, appear by my head or something like that. And the places that are not haunted, the orbs are just floating around, not doing any kind of intelligent movement. But that's what we look for in orbs, intelligent movement.
Wow, that is interesting. Now, did that orb move up and down that wall, or did it stay stationary?
It started moving towards me. As you can see, behind me, there's another orb, and that was the other entity.
I was going to ask you what the other thing behind
Yeah,
you
yeah,
was.
yeah, and it actually centered right on my chest. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I have dozens of pictures of orbs listening to my command. And then if the orbs don't listen to my command, usually the place is not haunted.
So how do you clear a house?
I do a Roman Catholic clearing. I use holy water. I have a cross. I go to each bedroom. I start from the very back and I move towards the front, chasing the entity out front. So,
Do you think it's a demonic entity?
demonic, ghosts, everything. Yes. Yeah. And well, that's why my nickname's the Demon Warrior.
Oh, okay.
And you guys all know about Krampus, right?
Yes.
The opposite of Santa Claus. He punishes evil children and kidnaps them.
There's a crampy Santa.
Well, we all know that it's a fictional character. But would you believe that Krampus is real? And I'll explain.
Yes.
Okay, good. You took the bait. Okay.
Yeah.
So with Krampus, okay, on the paranormal hotline, I got a call from Massachusetts from this family, and they said that they're being haunted by Krampus. Okay, well, Krampus, just like Slender Man, is a fictional character.
Right.
What happened was the children, the whole family's from German descent, so they knew about the Krampus story. And they were actually believers of Krampus. And the one daughter started dabbling in dark arts, messing around with the Ouija board, and calling upon Krampus. Well, Krampus appeared, and what it is a tulpa. The author, Walter B. Gibson, who wrote The Shadow, thought of his character so much that when his friends and family came to the house, they would see this man with a red scarf around his mouth, black fedora, black clothing, a long nose, and what they were describing was the fictional character that Walter B. Gibson created, the Shadow. He created a tulpa. It's something that manifests from your mind. Here we go again with that AI stuff and everything else, and what comes out of those brain waves. The brain waves were so strong, he's thinking of that character, and bam, the shadow is walking around his house. Same thing with this Krampus. This German family believed in Krampus so much that it actually manifested. And now we're getting cases on Slender Man, and that's something that was created out of the internet, but people believe in it in so much, they're being haunted by a character that looks like Slender Man.
Do you think they're actually manifesting this, like, because we were talking about AI, that we didn't even touch on that, David, about like Nightmare on Elm Street stuff.
No.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I know a lot of women who, just before they go through menopause, have premenstrual Krampus. Is there anything? I had to go there.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, I think everything that you think of, you see, you experience, everything is recorded in energy form. It's probably filed away at the Akashic Records. It's also downloaded somewhere on your body. So when you die, at the instance of death, your whole life flashes in front of you because it all exists in energy form.
You should definitely watch. You both should. If you haven't seen it, you should watch Brainstorm. It's a 1983 American
I'm
science
gonna
fiction
watch
film
it this weekend.
directed by Douglas Trumbull, who actually did 2001, and this was his last film. Lost his shirt on this. He wanted to continue to produce it, and they said no. And I think they said no because this technology is actually real. It is about the military coming and acquiring this technology, which it follows a research team's efforts to perfect a system that directly records and replays the sensory experiences and emotional feelings of a subject, and the efforts by the company's management to exploit the device for military ends. After a researcher records her own death from a heart attack, her colleagues join forces to retrieve the information and play it back. So this was Natalie Wood's last film.
Well,
Alice
actually,
was
it
murdered.
was released after her death because she
It
died
was.
in 1981, and the movie didn't come out until 83.
Yes, because
Wow.
Douglas Trumbull fought that entire time to get this released. He wanted to release it immediately, but the insurance wouldn't let him. And he said after this, he walked from Hollywood.
Wow. Huh.
So it's a movie that I think everybody should try to watch. You have a lot of books, do you not?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And how can people buy your books, and how can people get in touch with you? Like if I had a ghost busting situation and I wanted a forensic investigation, how would I get in touch with you?
Oh, actually, when you just Google or Bing my name, Paul Dale Roberts, a lot of my articles pop up, and every one of my articles, I have my email address, my telephone number, and the paranormal hotline is 916-203-7503. And when you're looking for my books, what is amazing is that when you do Google my name or Bing my name, my books pop up. So you see it on Amazon, you see it on Barnes and Nobles and everything else. But yeah, it's all there. So
How many books do you have?
about 73, I believe.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
Do you have a website too?
I did have a website, but I took it down because I get inundated now with so many people reading the articles and stuff because I have the articles in LinkedIn and everything else. I didn't need a website. It's like they can find me easily. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, it's always just a pleasure to have you on the show because you present some fascinating information and you back it up with some